Viewer discretion is advised. This video contains language that people in Alabama use on a daily basis, but they're gonna act like it's shocking because I'm exposing them for being a bunch of backwards inbred hicks. What's up everybody? This is Jose from Southern Life, and on today's video we're gonna explain to you everything you need to know about the state of Alabama. We are going to be helped by Billy McCarthy. He's here with us today, and he's going to help us understand everything we need to know about Alabama. First, we're going to talk a little bit about Alabama's history. Mr. McCarthy, tell us a little bit about the history of Alabama.
Oh, man, they were good back in the day, man. I tell you what, cotton field, white snow down there. And we used to have a bunch of dang... They worked hard too, man. Build a big old cotton mill down there about that. Just a good old time, I tell you what. We had a big party, man. You just drank good old whiskey. It was great, man. I tell you. Then down there came old damn Yankee came on down here and dang started shooting, burned my grandpa's house down there. Ain't getting no better. Now I want you to. And I want a little beautiful blonde little white girl down there to go to school. When it got there, good old George Wallace then stood on that podium and go back to you about segregation today. Segregation tomorrow is segregation at bam bam. Then good old Ivy came along and told him, no way, Jose, don't go back to Mexico down there, you dang down there.
Historical compilation there. Okay, let's talk a little bit about their food, huh? Let's switch the conversation here a little bit. All right, so on the first of the month, the people in Alabama get their food stamps and they'll go to Jack's or Popeyes and get a chicken sandwich. But then as the end of the month approaches and their food stamps run out or they've traded it for crack and there's no more food stamps left, then they're going to go eat hot dogs from gas stations. After they run out of food stamps completely, then they catch squirrels in their backyard and eat them. Jobs in Alabama. Some people work in chicken plants. Those are called dang Mexicans. With just a large segment of the African American population being in prison in Alabama, the correctional facilities are a great source of work. And if you want to be a guard in a prison, there's always openings for those types of jobs. And the requirements to be an officer at a correctional facility are very easy to meet. You just have to be aggressive, violent, drunk, and inbred. If you meet that criteria, you can get a job at any of the 8,000 prisons throughout the entire state. The rest of the population is employed through disability benefits. Some people are on SSI. Other people are just on food stamps. And then the rest of them get cotton or work for Border Patrol. Mr. Billy McCarthy, is there anything else that you would like to add to the economy of Alabama?
Tell you what, man, right before to get them poop pamps down there, about $29 for the month, man. Dang old truck come on down from Texas. Got that blue ice down there in that truck lid. You pull that dang tank open down there, about 4 or 5 bricks and thing down there. Called on Johnny boy down the road, but like, man, got that work, man. That copper moonshine pipe down there too. Now, dang old rainwater about drip, drip, drip. That little moonshine down there got you singing that blue moon of Kentucky down there in that holler. Yeah, I can't do nothing down there. That's just about that dang disability down there. Ain't been touched none since 1973. That banjo back there.
All right, Mr. McCarthy, tell them what are the fun things to do in Alabama? What do people in Alabama do for entertainment, for recreational activities?
Oh man, tell you what, you got that pipe down there. You go put a little that thing down there, that pipe, and just blow down like the train down the choo-choo track down there. Got that banjo down there too. You gonna put that 5-string, play that dang old Hank Williams, the old Lost Highway down there.
Oh yeah, I used to have a banjo actually, Mr. McCarthy.
Oh, there, yeah, young too. We're gonna play there. No, you're gonna break that thing. No, don't do that. No, mate, tell you what, no, let your little string like that, man. No, don't, they not no dang bongo, man. Tell you what, the banjo, man, ain't no dang bongo. Don't do that, no, tell you what. Tell you, go, dang, don't you dare touch that thing.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the demographics, the people of Alabama. Mr. McCarthy, can I trust you?
Man, tell you what, man, just good old white folk, man. Good country folk, white folk. And then there's a bunch of goddamn...
Okay, Mr. McCarthy, You can leave now. We've had enough of you. Let's talk a little bit about the cities of Alabama. Auburn is possibly the only decent city in this entire state. There's a bunch of Koreans here who haven't figured out they're in Alabama, and I'm sure once they figure out they're in Alabama, they're going to be terrified for their lives. They may not have a better football team than Tuscaloosa, but at least you don't have to join a Klan rally to be part of their football team. This is one of the few cities in Alabama where little white kids can play with little black kids because their parents aren't around to see them. But if the parents knew they were hanging out with a bunch of Koreans and black kids, they'd have a total, they'd freak out. The kids here, they're all, interacting with each other. And then when, the parents show up for the big game, then they all act like they don't like each other. But then when the parents go away, they all go back to being normal. So, Alabama's, in the closet. They want the rest of Alabama to think they're backwards, but they're really not. They're actually pretty decent, civilized people. Just when people from other parts of Alabama come around, then they're like, oh, we're just like you guys, but they're really not. The BGPC here is one of the highest in the country. That means blonde girls per capita. It's, through the roof. And for some reason, squatted forerunners are a thing. I'm not sure why they think it's cool, but Auburn thinks it's cool, whatever. SELMA is an absolute embarrassment to the civil rights movement. You would think that black people would invest in this community and make it look nice because at the end of the day, it stands for their civil rights movement. But no, they don't really give a crap about this place. It's actually one of the nastiest, most beat up places in the entire state of Alabama. The state of Alabama gives SELMA absolutely no resources because at the end of the day, just a bunch of black folks down there. The best and only restaurant open in the city is a Popeye's Chicken. And the customer service there is so bad, you're lucky if you get your drinks just thrown at you. Oh, look at this big fat white girl in the passenger seat. She don't look like she need more chicken. She look like she already done had all the chicken there was to be had after all. Who are you going to complain to? It's Selma, Alabama. It's not like they can afford a manager. Honey, I is the manager. Then there's Huntsville, the most Karened out place in all of Alabama. People from other states actually move here thinking there's jobs, prosperity, but they forgot to tell them it's still in Alabama. Yeah, you might have jobs and new buildings. You know what the number one problem is? It's still in Alabama. And it's one of the most racist, backwards, hateful places in the state as well. I got friends who are from a small town right outside of Huntsville. They moved to Florida and they would tell me the horror stories of the things they would see in the Huntsville area. Crap out of Mississippi burning. Is it better than the rest of Alabama? Absolutely. But it's still in Alabama. Well, we have jobs here and they're building cars and they're building new apartments. But it's still in Alabama. With the purple flowers and the mountains. But it's still in Alabama. There are not even any brand new hotels in Huntsville, despite the fact they're growing and there's jobs coming in and it's the best city in America to move to. There's not a single brand new hotel in Huntsville. Marriott hasn't put a single brand new hotel in the city of Huntsville. When Marriott doesn't put a hotel there, that's just be an indication that it's not a good place. Nobody knows hospitality better than Marriott. And one of the reasons they're not going to put a hotel there is because they just can't get people to work. They just can't find people to work in this part of the country. And the hygiene is so low that they're eventually going to get bad reviews for bed bugs and bed ticks and stinky feet and stinky pillows. And Marriott doesn't want to get bad reviews because they have a reputation to live up to. Therefore, Marriott's not putting any new hotels in the Huntsville area. Then there's Montgomery, the Gumpery. Have you ever wondered what it'd be like if black people were the oppressors instead of whites? Welcome to Montgomery. Can't even keep a nightclub open without some fool shooting the place up. It's a good thing Billy McCarthy's not here to give you what his opinion is of Montgomery because it's not a very nice one. When you think about Montgomery, you might think about the civil rights movement and Rosa Parks. Bless your heart. Despite all that, Montgomery was still the capital of the Confederacy. And this is a city that's filled with hate, crime, and 40-inch rims. Before you put your children in the Montgomery school system, you'd be better off putting them in a prison somewhere else. They'll have better living conditions and they'll meet nicer people. But we built 2 houses that were worth $400,000 on the east side of town. Yeah, and it took you guys 10 years to build it. Birmingham, Alabama. Have you ever wanted to die? Do you want to part ways with all your valuable belongings in a violent attack? Do you want to live in one of the most rundown cities in the world? we have found a place for you. It's called Birmingham, Alabama. The murder rate in Birmingham, Alabama is actually higher than Ciudad Juarez, which is known to be the most dangerous city in the world. Sure, other American cities take pictures for Instagram and they'll make a YouTube video about it and they'll take pictures with their homies before they go on a drive-by. Not in Birmingham, they skip right to the slaughtering. People take all the fun out of gangbanging. In any other city in America, you can hang out in the hood with your homies, post up in front of the gas station. None in Birmingham. They take all the fun out of living in the hood as well. All the fun things to do in the hood, hang out with your homies, post up in front of a gas station. Those aren't things you're going to do in Birmingham. They take all the fun out of gangbanging, all the fun out of living in the hood. You just get killed and that's it. They don't even do libation for their dead homies. They just move on to the next corpse. Sure, in Detroit and Chicago, they got rituals and gangbanging and hanging out with the homies. Not in Birmingham. They cut right to the killing. There's not going to be any rest in peace poopy murals popping up anywhere in Birmingham. You know what? At least in Los Angeles, they'll spray paint your name behind somebody's shed after you pass. You can't even get that in Birmingham. Let's say you manage to escape Birmingham alive. You end up in good Shelby County. Has one of the highest incomes of any county in the South. It's clean, it's safe, it's on the other side of the hill. You can't even hear the gunshots over the mountain. People here really think their poop don't stink. Then there's Dothan, Alabama. Basically, this city is nothing more than squatted trucks, gangs, old buildings that are falling apart, a loop that goes around the city, a few pizza places, a few burger places, and that's it. People here are pretty much friendly. They understand that people of all backgrounds can buy narcotics from them and they want to be your friend. Then there's Mobile, Alabama. Have you ever wondered what a dumpster full of diapers burning smells like? Just lower your windows on I-10 as you drive past Mobile, Alabama. Not only is the contamination a threat to people here, they have the lowest life expectancy of any city in the United States and possibly the world. Then they beat up New Orleans, claim that they invented Mardi Gras and haven't gave it back since. If you watch the first 48 at some point or another, you'll understand that Mobile is a city you never want to live in. Whether it's their food or their crime rate, something's going to kill you. Then there's Anniston. Have you ever wondered what it's like to live in a city where everybody who stayed there possibly couldn't figure out how to escape? Bed bugs, cockroaches, ticks, even they've decided to leave Anniston. However, if you ask the locals what it's like to live in Anniston, you'll get an answer like, "Oh, it's great out here, but we're just..." They have the lowest real estate values of any city in the United States, mostly attributed to the fact that nobody there knows how to fill out a real estate contract because none of them know how to read. The few people in Anniston who do know how to read and write have found my YouTube video to be quite amusing, and they'll say things like, "I done live here, dawg. Is nice cut. Aight, man, don't you be hate cut. So what is she my cousin, man? It's real love. Hashtag roll tide, man." And then there's the ones that just don't even understand what the video's about. They're just talking about random things like, "Yo, shout out to my cousin / wife, Leroy. Me and him done had 2-eyed baby, 5 legs, but still family. Roll tide." Every once in a while, I'll see an educated comment out of my Anniston videos. People will say something like, "I'm leaving soon. Roll tide." And there's Baldwin County. These people had enough sense to leave California, but not enough to pick a decent place to move to. Almost made it to Florida, but then they didn't. Finally, there's Billingsley, Alabama. This place has been through more tornadoes than Billy McCarthy's been to AA meetings. Kid you not, every time I see a storm front coming through the south, there's a tornado right over this town. How these people haven't figured out that maybe it's not a good place for a town, because every weekend there's a different tornado.